Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute since I posted a video, but I'm back. I'm ready to get started. I want to do some art again, so that's what we're going to do today. I've kind of been doing art on and off, but today I want to do something a little different than what I normally do because I'm trying to practice. So I've drawn these on some canvases. This is Mew Ichigo and Mew Pudding, and I want to paint them today. I'm not very good with acrylic, and that's okay, but I'm still gonna try. I have a variety of it in the drawer, so we're just gonna kind of take whatever brand I have and yeah, try and paint these. I'm a little nervous because I really like the drawings, but well, that's the nice thing about acrylic is if you mess up, you can always repaint it, and it's not a big deal. So with that, we're gonna start with Ichigo, and we're gonna get started.
So before I get into talking about the painting, we're gonna address the elephant in the room. It's been about a year since I posted a video, and I've been busy for the past year. I got married. I was busy with work, and then all the COVID stuff happened, and that just made work even busier. So I kind of hit a rut with my art, and I wasn't really able to feel like I was making anything that was good. So I took a step back. I focused on my wedding and my personal stuff, and then I was kind of almost shy to come back. So, but I've seen your guys' comments, and my friends have been really encouraging. My husband's been encouraging me, so I'm back. I'm gonna try and work really hard at this. I've got some cool videos planned out that I'd love to get started and show you guys, and there's a few in the works, so I hope you guys look forward to what I have coming up. As for the painting, Tokyo Mew Mew has kind of always been my fallback. Like whenever I don't know what to draw, I'm usually drawing OCs for this. Actually, it's just been such a passion of mine since I was little, and like I'm not as familiar with it as like some people are, right? But I do really enjoy it. I love the designs. I love the concept. So when I'm struggling to find something to draw, I usually fall back on them. If I had one regret about this Ichigo painting, it would be that I referenced the anime and not the manga. So her hair is this really off-colored strawberry, almost bubblegum color. It's just awful. In the manga, she's got like hair that coordinates with the rest of her outfit, but in the anime, her hair just stands out so bad. So in hindsight, yeah, I could have repainted it, but I'd already mixed the colors and I had them, so I was like, I'll run with it, and I kind of will adjust with the other girls, if I choose to paint them, and kind of go from there. But I decided to do little small canvases. These are just dollar store canvases. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that, but I didn't want to commit to this big canvas and be intimidated if I messed it up. Like, I can paint it over with gesso, but it's still the concept of that white page that a lot of artists fear. So for this, I wanted to do something small so it was less scary than like taking the big canvas. And these are, I can't remember the size, I'll put it up on screen when I look it up, but they're like three for $2 or something like that. It was super cheap. And the paint I'm using, it's just a mixture of a brand called Cheep. I've got some Winsor & Newton. I've got dollar store stuff. I didn't really know what to use or what was better to use, so I kind of just bought colors that I thought would look nice and colors that maybe I thought would be nice to use down the road. Hindsight, the dollar store paint's really thin. It's not a bad thing, especially if you're starting out and you're not quite sure. But I find I went through a lot more dollar store paint than I did my Winsor & Newton paint. So maybe in the future I would more consider using that kind of paint versus the dollar store. But it has such great range of color for what you're getting for like $1.25 at the Dollarama, right? So I think if you're looking for something just to get started, I think it's a great way to go. Like, I really can't tell you the difference between all the professionals other than I felt like I used more of the dollar store. So I feel it's personal discretion, and as you get more comfortable with the medium. I wanted to try the heavy body acrylics, but they're a little expensive, so I'll wait on those until I'm more comfortable. Some of the mistakes I made with this was I probably should have painted the background first, because I think it would have been a lot easier to do that first and then paint her hair, because it was such fine details for her hair. Well, quote unquote fine details, as close as I'm gonna get. No matter how small of a brush I had, it just didn't seem to make a difference. I seem to favor this flat brush I'm using right now, and I don't have expensive brushes. I bought all mine at Walmart, basically. Maybe one or two from Michael's, but I used what worked. I think at one point I even used Mod Podge paintbrushes, which are not, that's not what they're not what they're meant for, but they get the job done. But I think if I had painted the background first, it probably would have negated a lot of struggles I had later painting it. And I didn't know what color to paint it, so I asked my friend what color to paint it, and that's why I end up picking the color I do. But I think it goes well with the pink, and I'm really happy with actually how all the pinks turned out, other than her hair, because I felt I got them pretty close, or at least cohesive to one another. I really like mixing paint colors. I feel I'm pretty good at matching colors, in my opinion, but I really like how all the colors turned out, and this baby blue was just so soft, and I think it just helped her, you know, pop off the page rather than just kind of blending in. So I wanted to pick a color that was, I don't know, I don't want to say opposite, maybe complementary, or something that you just kind of see that goes together, right? So I wanted to pick something that went together. So like when I do pudding, I picked a color that I thought went well with yellow. And if I were to paint anybody else, I would try and pick something that I thought looked nice with the others. But, oh, that hair just stands out so bad against the canvas. There's also been some small changes. I don't know if it's necessarily noticeable. Well, the zoom quality, I'm sure you've noticed, is a little farther out than my old videos used to be. I switched from filming on my camera to filming on a GoPro that I borrowed from my brother. And I haven't quite figured out how to use it, so it's really far away, but I think if I had it any closer you wouldn't see a lot of the stuff, so I may experiment with that a little bit here and there. So, but I think it's got just such a sharper image compared to my phone, so I'm really happy with that. I've also updated my lights, so that way, you know, you're getting a better image quality. I looked in my other videos and they're really dark, so now the colors are more true to what I'm seeing, so I hope that looks better for you guys. I edited out a bunch of footage. I'm really slow at painting, but I edited out the shading, but you can see I shaded a little bit underneath, like on the pink, and I end up shading her face as well. So I didn't feel it was necessary to show you me painting all the little layers, you know, back and forth, reapplying. There's a lot of touching up with acrylic that you gotta do. You gotta repaint a lot of stuff. So I tried to edit out what I thought was unnecessary, so that way you guys at least see just, you know, the basis of the painting.
Okay, so we've just finished painting this part. I have a Posca pen to hopefully line it easier. I mean, like, the thinnest brush I have is like that, so I figured a Posca pen might be easier, but a little nervous, so here goes nothing, right?
Did I say easier? No, this was not easier. Probably easier than using the paintbrush, and I'll give it credit for that, but I didn't anticipate the texture of the canvas when I was drawing on it, and I didn't anticipate the Posca pen sitting wet for as long as it did, so I actually ended up putting my hand on top of it and smearing black paint in multiple spots on the painting that I have to go and fix later. This is just, you know, user error. Like, I should have known this. It's simple mistakes, but it was definitely stressful to line it. Like, I was super frustrated because it took so long to dry, and then I had to paint over it, and it didn't cover the same way as regular acrylic. So if I had any advice, if you want to use the Posca pens, I would make sure that you start from one side and work to the other, not what I've done here and kind of try and work into the middle. It doesn't work. It's such a pain in the butt, and it takes forever to, you know, go back in and line it, make sure your hand's not on it. So all in all though, the line art was a little thicker than I was hoping. I bought this a long time ago thinking maybe it'd be really like a lot thinner, but it's not as thin as I hoped. But it gives me nice clean lines, and it's way nicer than if I had tried to do it by hand, so I'm happy about that. And it kind of, maybe it's just me, kind of makes me think of like pop art when it's got those nice thick lines, and I do appreciate that, so I hope you guys like it as well. So all I did after this is I touched up the little bits of, you know, like when my lines didn't line up and that little black dot that was on her chest. I went back and added the symbol on her little pendant, and after that I really felt it was done. I didn't want to overwork it. I was really happy with how it turned out. I think the lines just look really crisp and really good, so I hope you guys like it. I think it looks good. So I forgot to turn on the camera when I started painting this, so I'm sure it's okay. You guys aren't going to miss me painting the background too much. But for pudding, like I said before, I wanted to pick a color that I thought would look really good with yellow, so I picked a really, really light green. I think it was like a leaf green that I added a buttload of white to, just to make it lighter. Acrylic, I find it usually dries a little darker than you're anticipating, at least with the paints that I used. I found that. With pudding though, I didn't have to mix as many colors. She's a lot simpler. I think I had like 3 different yellows, 2 different oranges, and obviously a skin tone which I had to remix. But she was a lot quicker to paint than Ichigo because I didn't have to switch back and forth as much, so that was nice. And this time I learned I painted the background first, so that definitely helped. I'll have to keep that in mind next time I do a painting. It's just so you don't have to redo a bunch of little lines, right? It just saves some time. I think what I've learned from this experience is that I should be more willing to branch out and try new mediums. The only thing I remembered about acrylic was, like, you know, when you're a kid and that's the paint they give you in school, and it's just, you think of it as this cheap paint, and it's, you know, it's the basics, but you know, I actually was really surprised how much I did enjoy it. It's a lot different than I remember. I'm sure just having better supplies, better canvases, and taking the time, you know, I think that really makes a difference. And obviously I know a little bit more about paint now than probably the last time I used it, so I'm really happy that I did try this out. My friend Kat suggested it, and I think that was just an awesome idea, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Kat. Because I don't know if I ever would have picked up acrylic, because it was a pretty intimidating medium. Like, watercolor is hard. Like, it's really hard. And oils, you know, they take a lot of time. They take a lot of time to dry. This is kind of a faster medium in between the two, and it's been an interesting experience just to see how different it is and to see like kind of how it works. So I really do recommend, like, if you're unsure, or you know, it's been a while since you tried a medium, maybe just give it a try again. You might be surprised, like I was, how much you enjoy it. I'd like to get better at it. I know obviously I'm just painting something super simple, but I'm hoping maybe it's something I could look into, and maybe one day grab that really big canvas and paint something interesting, right? But baby steps, we'll get there. All in all, I think this was a really positive experience for me. It was trying something new, you know, trying to branch out and do something different. And I had a lot of fun painting these two girls, and I really think I'd like to paint the other ones down the line. I do have some more canvas that I bought because they come in 3 packs, so maybe I could pick up some more and draw some more of the girls and paint them. If you guys like that, let me know in the comments down below. But even if, maybe I'll like do other characters, but I'd like to maybe one day have all the girls, including like, you know, Ringo and Barry, and have them also painted. I think that could be a lot of fun. I may have to do that over a couple videos though, because as you can see, I can only fit 2 in one video. So, but yeah, if this is something you're interested in, let me know in the comments down below. I don't know if anybody else is like a big fan of Tokyo Mew Mew. I know it's got a new manga debut, which I haven't read yet, but I know it's coming back in popularity, so I'd like to, you know, do some more artwork for this series. It's just, it has such a special place in my heart, and I'm sure a lot of other people have it in their heart as well. I know when I first watched it, it was on 4Kids, so I probably don't have the best adaptation in mind when I think of it, but I do own most of the manga, so I try and kind of piece it together that way instead of just relying on what I remember from 4Kids. Once again, I chose to line it with the Posca because I just don't trust myself with a paintbrush. And I really like the liner that I get with the Posca. Like, now that I've done it a second time, I kind of know what to expect and know what to watch for, so it was a better experience than the first time. I did these paintings over a couple days, so I felt a little more confident by the time I got around to lining it the second time. And it really helps complete the painting. Like, it does look nice without it. I'm sure if I worked harder at the shadows, I could just leave it as is, but I really like the darkness of the lines. It looks nicer to me. So I'm happy that I bought this in the end. It's a little weird to get used to. It's different, and I know there's a lot of pens that I've seen leak, so I'm happy that this one did not do that, because I don't know what I would have done. That would have just been a mess. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun making this. Like I said, it's something different for me, and it was fun to kind of branch out there and do something out of my comfort zone. And I hope you guys look forward to what I have in store for you. I'm hoping to get back on a regular schedule and get these videos out on time for you. Thank you so much for the love and the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!